Like the colors of the rainbow, your vaginal discharge can have so many different colors and tell you a whole lot about what is going on. Hi, I'm your local OBGYN. I love women, and let's talk about it. So, if you are a woman, you have had discharge that has changed colors over time, and sometimes you may have worried that something was going on that needed medical attention. So, let's go over a little bit of the basics here. When we are talking about discharge, clear and white is usually pretty typical for an average cycle, depending on if you're ovulating or not. And as long as there's no odor or pain, you're usually pretty good in this scenario. Once we start to get into a thick white, we usually worry about yeast infections. This can often be associated with heavy cottage cheese-like discharge and itching. When we get white and gray with an odor, this often kind of falls into the bacterial vaginosis line, where we have that fishy odor smell. Then we can get further into that rainbow into the green and yellow. Green and yellow, I generally will see people complain of some pretty significant odor. This generally ends up being like a trichomonas STD or a gonorrhea and chlamydia. It doesn't mean that it has to be. I will find normal discharge every once in a while. If you're pregnant, it could be a mucus plug that is also in that color scheme, but otherwise they can and should be tested when you have discharge in that color range for STDs. When we get into the browns, it's generally early period, late period, sometimes some funny bleeding issues that are going on, postmenopausal bleeding. And then if we get into pink, that could be injury, spotting, some milder infections. Sometimes women, right after they treat something, will kind of have a pink discharge right after they use kind of like a vaginal antibiotic as well. And these can all be culprits that can be easily tested in your local OBGYN office.